Hey, Kia, and I am here for my second review of R. Kelly, The Reckoning, Nights 2 and Nights 3. I combined this into one video because it really didn't need to be two separate ones. The first night was 2 hours and only really talked to one girl, Lanita, and Dominique Gardner, which I'll talk about more. And then the second night was kind of the backstory behind Azriel, Clary, and Azriel, Clary, and I just forgot the girl's name, the Savage girl. I'm sorry, I'll think of her name in a second. It's been a long weekend. So night two, the very first hour of night two, we get introduced to Lanita Carter, who was R. Kelly's hair braider. She met R. Kelly when she was 24 years old, and she came from a very troubled life. She was basically saying how her family wouldn't even let her speak. Her voice was never heard until she became R. Kelly's hair braider. And, she almost got a little bit of notoriety, became a little famous in her neighborhood, like anybody would when you're in close proximity to somebody famous. I mean, honestly, she wasn't even really making a lot of money doing his hair. He was only paying her $100 every couple of days to braid his hair, do his hair, whatever. And after childcare, because she had 3 kids and, transportation, you're looking at $20 a night. But she'd had an abusive relationship and she'd had an abusive childhood. And it just shows that R. Kelly really did have a knack for finding women who were already broken, who he knew that he could use his status and use his bravado to make them feel better and then turn it into being controlled. And for a while, everything was fine with her braiding his hair. She was getting more clients. She's making more money. Everything is peachy keen. One day, one of his homeboys, like most men do, hit on her, and she was like, "Nah, I got 3 kids. Like, I'm not interested. No big deal." It somehow gets back to R. Kelly, and he flips out for, of course, absolutely no reason, and comes back to her and it's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me? You should have told me. I can't have you around here." A lot of silly crap that men do when they want to try to control you. Like, "I don't want you to be around my homeboys. They're this, they're that, whatever." Well, you the same type of dude, so that's a different conversation, but. So he stops bringing her around, I guess, in his mindset, I guess, for keep her away from the guys, whatever, but he stops having her come around. So she's calling, wanting to braid his hair, most likely because she's starting to lose a little bit of the feeling that he gave her, because she claimed that he called her his little sister, that was her big brother, that was family, that's love, that's this and that. And I think she missed that feeling. And I think that's what R. Kelly uses, is that when I'm not around, no one else is going to want you. No one else is going to love you. In her case, it almost seemed true because her family really didn't seem that supportive. Finally, one day out of nowhere, the assistant calls and says, "I want you to come over and braid his hair." She goes on to braid his hair for a couple of weeks. Everything's fine. And then one night they had this very weird moment where he asked for a head massage, talking about his penis, and she said no. And then he forcibly grabbed her by her French braid, forced her to perform oral sex. He spit and ejaculated on her face, and she went in the bathroom to get herself cleaned up, and then she was basically put out the studio. What she is describing is a very graphic sexual assault, but it is very different than the other one that he's dealt with. So I can see kind of why people didn't believe her, because it's completely different than the MO, and not her age. It was just the way he did it just seemed very, from what we've heard, it just seemed very different. And a lot of people didn't believe her. She went to a grand jury where she was completely badgered, which that really stings how they treat sexual assault victims in the grand jury or police officers. They treat it like, what did you do to ask for this? If somebody stole your car, would you go up to them and say, "Hey, what did you do to get your car stolen? How did you ask for your car to get stolen?" Same thing with robbery victims, murder. Like, how did you ask to get robbed? How did you ask to get murdered? They don't ask that to those victims. When it comes to victims of sexual assault, it's always what the victim did before it's, what happened to you? Where were you when this happened? Okay, has this happened before? Other girls? Like, it's none of that. It's always, what did you do wrong before the accuser? And R. Kelly's team kind of made it seem like she wasn't there, but they found her hair stuff in the trash can. She was able to identify the studio, so she was there. But, and I hate to say this because this is why victims don't come forward, is because a lot of people didn't believe her, and for a little bit I didn't believe her. The story is just so weird and different and off. She just, I don't know. It just seems very off to me. But if she's saying this happened and it's proof that she was in the studio, then she's saying it happened. But I get why that people didn't believe her. She went to the law office. She went to do a civil suit, and she went to the lady who was kind of churning out the civil suit factory, and even she didn't believe her. So it was kind of a debacle, but she did end up getting money, $750,000 from R. Kelly, but then she broke that NDA when she came forward and spoke to Cook County State Attorney Kim Foxx. Kim Foxx kind of went on this press conference kind of affirmative tour of saying, we can't do anything until these victims come forward. If the victims are going to come forward, we can finally do something. We can't do anything until that happens. And a lot of people thought Kim Foxx was taking advantage of, what these young girls had been through. Hold on, let me turn off these alerts before my computer just like, you guys hear all 37 notifications of what I have going on. Clear all notifications. Sorry about that. Hopefully it won't beep again, because if not, at around this starts beeping and beeping and beeping and beeping with every single email that I have coming in for work and for clients and stuff. Anyway, Kim Foxx, she's also in the documentary this time too, saying that we can't do anything until you guys come forward, and women start coming forward. Women start doing interviews with GMA, not somebody on NBC or anything, but GMA really kind of, not GMA, CBS this morning, where Gayle King is. So I appreciated Kim Foxx telling people to speak out, but it was almost a little sensationalized because the documentary is why people were coming out. So there could have been girls who were lying or making up stuff or just wanted to be famous or wanted to be in the documentary. I don't know why anybody would want to be famous because of this, but that's why a lot of people were like, Kim Foxx, you're just trying to capitalize on the documentary and gain some fame and this and that. And this is all going on. I think this happened like a month after the Justice Smollett situation happened. So it was already looking a little bit crazy. So the very first part of the first hour of the second night was all about the hairdresser's account. And, it was very, very drawn out for no reason. I'm sorry. I know she needs to tell her story. That's her business. I'm glad she could tell it, but the whole hour was unneeded when the real part that everybody wanted to talk about was Dominique Gardner. And we all know Dominique Gardner came in because of Jerronda Pace. Jerronda Pace is another one of R. Kelly's victims. It's actually her cases, her 11 counts, the 11 counts that come from her, that are federal, come from her. Because she was young, I think because he transferred her across state lines. There was a bunch of other stuff that caused it, but she actually talks about, before we go into Dominique, how they had a suicide pact. Again, I'm not sure how truthful the suicide pact is. I don't know. It didn't sound a lot of really believable, but again, after hearing the hairdresser story and the Jerronda story, I'm already a little bit skeptical. Drop down in my comments, say you're mad, you don't like that, how dare I, but that's just how I felt about it. But it was a suicide pact that if she loves him so much, then she should, kill herself. And if she really loved him, and that loving him meant not being able to live without him, it was just, okay, we'll say that's true. Okay, fine. She got that out. She got to share that. That's fine. Next, now we go into Dominique Gardner and her mother. Dominique's mother is how I hope I am as a mother, how I know my mom would be as a mother, how I'm hoping every mother across the world would be. She did what it took to not only protect her daughter from R. Kelly, then get her daughter from R. Kelly, welcome her daughter back home when she left and came back again from R. Kelly, and then is making sure her life is as normal as possible. Dominique, I didn't realize Dominique had been in contact with R. Kelly for like 6 years, and their total relationship had been 9 years together. And she was there with Azriel and with Joycelyn. She was there with Jerronda, but her and Jerronda never saw each other because they kept them separate. R. Kelly actually tried to dead their friendship before Dominique even came to the house. So it was a very weird, very controlling dynamic that he had. Let me look at my notes. And the reason why Jerronda broke her NDA, because we all know she broke her NDA on The Real about 2 years ago. The reason why she did this is because she wanted to save Dominique, her friend, and of course save Jocelyn and Azriel. And now we get to talk to Dominique, and I didn't think we were ever going to be able to speak to Dominique. She was very anti-interviews for a very long time. She didn't want to talk to anybody. So I didn't think she was going to be in this documentary, but there she is. And I'm telling you, this girl looks broken. She just looks so just like, I know why I need to be here. I know I need to tell my side of the story, but I still love him and I feel bad for loving him. And what am I supposed to do? She describes how he actually pulled out chunks of her hair. They got in a fight. He pulled out chunks of her hair, so much so that it started falling out when she was brushing it. She was just like, I'll just cut it anyway because there's no point. I have patches of hair missing. And she talked about it in such kind of a weird, melancholy kind of, yeah, this is what happened. You know, it was falling out anyway. So, it is what it is, and we cut it. So, yeah. The main question at the end, the producer wanted to ask her is why she was dressed like, was there any connection to why she was dressed like a boy? And Dominique couldn't answer. And I can only imagine what he made her do dressed as a boy. They're now saying there was another gentleman who used to come in and have sex with them. And I don't even want to think about what Dominique was asked to do with R. Kelly and that other man if they had some weird three-way guy situation. I mean, she was sexually abused. I believe Dominique Gardner was sexually abused for the entertainment and sexual gratification of R. Kelly, pretending that she was a boy. That's how it comes across. And she talks about how, her mother spoke about how she was beaten with a shoe, electrical cord when she was on punishment. Dominique talks about how she was locked in a room for almost a week and a half when they were gone because she was on punishment. How they went on tour for 3 days, left her there, and she wasn't allowed to eat. If it wasn't for an assistant, she wouldn't have been able to eat. Who are these assistants who are coming back knowing these girls are starving, locked into a room, and then coming back and feeding them? Who are these? Where are you? Is it the two white women who I refuse to name? Are you guys okay thinking, oh, well, that's just his girlfriend. They're fighting. I don't think he left any food in the house. I'm just going to go and check. That's not normal. That's not how a relationship works. What are you talking about? She talked about how she was being in a dark place and she starts to get emotional and she starts to cry. And so much of that she has to actually walk away and leave. This girl has gone through hell and back to get to where she is. And it's really sad. And I'm glad she came out because I feel like her commentary, her, explaining where her head is at is going to be the nail in R. Kelly's coffin. I believe that is. Geronda, great. Okay, I get it. You, whatever. But Dominique, it seems like she has been the one who has gotten the brunt of the awfulness, kind of like Joycelyn and Azriel probably have, but she's the one who's speaking about it. And I'm praying that she recovers from this. It's going to take a long time. You can tell from her eyes that it's going to take a long time. And I understand that she loves R. Kelly. It looks like a Stockholm situation where you love somebody, but they're hurting you, but they keep saying it's going to get better and it'll be easier next time. And I won't do this again. And she finally explains why she went back. She absolutely knew that she could end up being on punishment, get beat, get hit, whatever he wanted to do. But she felt so bad walking away from Azriel and Joycelyn. She left Joycelyn in the hotel. So I just left her. I left her a note that I couldn't do this, but I need to go back and check on them because these were my sisters. These were my friends. And hearing that now, hearing that she didn't go back because she was so in love with R. Kelly, hearing that she went back to protect those other girls, her friends, I respect that. I feel like that's something that I would have done as well. Like, okay, my two really good friends are there. We're going through this together. I can't just walk away from them. That's not okay. I don't think anybody would do that. When she went back, she thought she was going to get hit and all this kind of stuff. And surprisingly, that didn't happen. He was happier. It was nice. Everybody was one big happy family again. But when he asked her, when she asked him, I want to go back to my brother's graduation because I hadn't seen him. I missed so much. I want to go back to my brother's graduation. He said no. And that's when she knew. And she rightfully so went back home because nothing has changed. Yeah, he's not abusing you anymore, hitting you, but the over control is still there. You were never going to be able to do what you want to do, be with your family, spend time with the people who love you. So again, I am extremely happy that she is back home with her mother, back with her family, where she absolutely needs to be. And I hope we hear more of her story and not so much about what happened with R. Kelly, but I hope we hear where she's at now. I mean, I don't know if she had her baby in the documentary, they didn't show her tummy, but she was pregnant. And she is with a guy, the white guy, and she looks like she's slowly but surely getting back in the groove. So the last part, night 3, talks about Azriel, Clary, and Joycelyn Savage. First, let me say, I feel so bad for Azriel, Clary's parents. Those people look like they were in love and they were happy. And once Azriel left and the fight to get her back destroyed their marriage. Azriel's mom, Alice, she really has done some crazy things to get back into her daughter's life, including basically not bum rushing the stage, but she snuck backstage to R. Kelly concerts to see her daughter, and her and her son ended up fighting security and getting arrested. Is that something all of us would do as moms? It absolutely is. But I feel bad for them. They're not like the Savages. The Savages are staying together. One is showing United Family Front, and the Clarys are they're just trying to figure it out. And I feel really sorry about that. And I hope that Azriel knows that her parents do love them, because they look like they love him, love her. So we all know the backstory between Azriel and Joycelyn. I don't need to rehash that. But we all know when they were in the Gayle King interview, they both said they did not have singing aspirations. That was a bunch of BS, and we all knew that. But this side kind of tells how much of a BS that was. They show Joycelyn's producer and songwriter, who she had given a lot of information to. Again, we don't know how truthful that is, but there is video of her singing in the studio. There is video of her having an argument with her parents, finally admitting that she had sexual contact with them, and her just saying, okay, are we done? Can I go? Like, I just want to leave. And, so the whole thing they did on CBS this morning in March, it was just a bunch of BS. It wasn't true. Them signing these notes about how their parents are extorting money, their parents abused them, their parents assaulted them. All of those are just lies that he uses as blackmail to keep the girls kind of in line, and so that the girls will kind of, stay in line and try to protect whatever relationship they have with their parents. And Stockholm syndrome is real. Being in love with your abuser is real. We see it all the time. We see it with women who are actually physically abused by a partner. And we always look at these girls like, he's hitting you, he's slapping you. Why are you staying? Because we don't understand it. But to them, when they hear, I'll buy you this, I'll take care of this, I'm paying for this, it's just like, okay, well, he hit me, but he loves me. I just did something wrong, or he just needs to get his aggression out. Now it'll be better. I'll try harder next time. I won't do that. Or, it just happened that one time. The one time they told their family about, come to find out it happened 5 or 6 times. Like, women stay in relationships where they're being abused because they really truly think, I'll never get love like this ever again. I will never be loved ever again. No one will ever want to love me. No one ever will want to be with me ever again the way he is. He loves me so much, he is willing to risk his freedom by hitting me to be with me. I've actually heard a girl say that, and that blew my mind. I was like, girl, no, that is not what it is. And the one thing that no one is talking about, just to go off a little bit from the review, did anybody notice how much plastic surgery both of these girls have had? Both Joycelyn and Azriel looked like they might have been A or B cups when they were taken. These girls are now D's. Did anybody notice the breast augmentation surgery? Because that's the first thing I was like, why are these girls' boobs so big all of a sudden? I feel like he's made these women into what they want. Mind, body, everything that he wants physical. Like, he's made them into he's brainwashed them away from their parents. They're just so enmeshed with him. And it's very, very, very sad. Let's see what else is in the notes. There is one of Haley Calhoun, who is a new survivor. I don't really count her as a survivor. I really, really don't. And I think anybody really does. She's actually a wild and out girl right now, I think. And she's in the documentary too on this last part, basically saying how she had met the other girls, but she was the only one that was out publicly with R. Kelly. They were in a relationship. They got into a fight and they broke up. It was overlapping between Gardner, Savage, and Clary. She says Kelly grew paranoid once the Clarys and Savage began speaking out, and once made her speak to him in a sauna for fear she was wearing a wire. Haley, I guess it's sad, but I don't know. They were all over social media in a relationship together. They were a couple. So I don't get why she's in the documentary, but I guess it's saying that there was some overlap, that she had met the girls. I don't really know, but whatever. Let's see. And then, talking about how now, so the beginning part of it just shows that the girls are now free because R. Kelly is in jail. He's in jail on like RICO charges, which is hardcore kind of mobster style charges. The girls are free to do what they want technically, but their minds are still, again, a mess with R. Kelly. So they haven't reached out to their parents. The parents are still trying to get in contact with them. They're still going to Trump Tower where the girls are staying and they can't get a hold of them. They're trying to do wellness checks. They can't do that. So nothing has really changed as far as the girls with their parents. there is a little bit of leeway freedom now, but the girls are still supporting R. Kelly, still want to be with him, still, going to his trials and going to his hearings and everything. So again, nothing has really changed. I hate the fact that a lot of the people online, the Kells, what do they call them? The Kells Nation, whatever, people support R. Kelly, are saying these ladies are scammers and liars. They're not scammers and liars, because the two white women on there basically said that the people weren't scamming and lying. The reason why they might not have realized what they said, the white woman who was pregnant said, yeah, that's the girl I knew from the house who had met as a little girl. And yeah, that's definitely R. Kelly, but I didn't see rape. It was consensual sex. Yeah, there's no such thing as consensual sex between a 14-year-old and a grown person. So that right there says a lot of these allegations are real. Because if you're saying the video is real, you just don't think it's rape. No one asked what you thought, because you are clearly uneducated, and it doesn't matter. You have no idea about the law. So why would your opinion even make a difference? Dominique Gardner also matters. She is somebody who is being honest about her situation. We see her with R. Kelly at concerts. There's video of that. You see her on the TMZ video. You now see her free telling her story. If you don't believe anything else about this whole situation, you believe the video, you believe Dominique. Even if you don't believe Tiffany Hawkins, even if you think the Savages are liars who want money, or the Clarys are liars who want money, even if you think all of that, it doesn't change that video was an underage girl in R. Kelly, and that Dominique Gardner story is 100% real. And these R. Kelly supporters, I don't even get how they're still supporting them online, but they are supporting him hardcore. They are just not caring. They are hardcore. Everybody's a scammer. Everybody's trying to get money. Everybody's trying to bring down the black man. And it's not everybody trying to bring down the black man. It's trying to support black women who are going through these types of things, and no one seems to care. And I'm not even going to say black women, because I know a lot of people have brought up, oh, black women, it never matters. It's not just black women. It's all women. It's all women they don't care about when it comes to men of power. That is the issue. Harvey Weinstein, there were multiple women who went to multiple people who said this happened to me, and had the studio tell them, we don't care and we don't believe you, so have a nice day. Ended up having their entire careers destroyed because they spoke up. Same thing with Bill Cosby. There were women who said things. No one believed them. Jeffrey Epstein, very wealthy man, no longer with us. There were girls who said something about him. Nobody ever, but Donald Trump. This man is president. There are 25 women who said this happened to them, and nobody believed them. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with power. And I need more and more people to stop pulling the race card and start pulling just because these men are wealthy doesn't mean they're not scumbag, horrible, awful people, and that these girls are liars. I am so glad they're coming out with surviving Jeffrey Epstein. So one, the black community can shut the hell up and know that this is not just, oh my God, they're just attacking R. Kelly, which is not the case. That whole thing has killed me. There have been 5 documentaries about Jeffrey Epstein. It ran as soon as it came out, it was all over the news for at least 2 months before he took his own life. And he knew he was screwed because he did take his own life. Like, they were going to get him. The same thing with Harvey Weinstein. There are 23 full-on documentaries about Harvey Weinstein. There is a movie in the works about this man. There are numerous news stories, multiple articles have won Pulitzer Prize winners. There's a book out right now by, I just read the book, I can't think of his name, the one who is Ronan Farrow. Ronan Farrow has a book out. Just because we as a black community don't watch that type of TV, we don't notice it, or because it doesn't relate to us, we don't notice it, doesn't mean they're not there. Yes, surviving R. Kelly got more attention because we as a black community watched it together, tweeted together, and we control Twitter. Let's not get that to it. We control Twitter. So that's why it trended. That's what everybody was interested in, because the black voices on Twitter made it a larger voice. White people didn't really do a lot for the Harvey Weinstein situation. He was mostly attacking white women, and they didn't seem to really care. So that's why that didn't blow up the way the R. Kelly thing blew up, I think. But again, it launched a whole movement. And it launched a lot of women to come forward, and for a lot of women to find their voice too. So we got to stop with it making a race thing and just make it men with power cannot do this. They can't. So that's my thoughts. I really hope they're done with the R. Kelly documentary things on Lifetime. I really can't do this anymore. They did bring up a lot of really detailed information. I'm glad everybody spoke out. But there's really nothing else to say at this point. Let's just let the actual justice system, okay, I need my employee to stop. I'm coming to be what I need this to be the end of it. There's nothing else to say except for he needs to be in jail. That's it. So drop down in my comments. Let's get the conversation started. Like and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at Kia Shapour. Find me on Instagram at I am Kia Giovanni. And I will talk to you guys next time. Have an amazing day. Bye.